The rooster crowed 3 times. Simon Peter, the rock of the early church, had just denied the Christ 3 times, just as was prophesied. I never even knew the man, echoed in his mind. Peter ran, crying in utter shame. Up to this point, Jesus of Nazareth had been arrested, accused, accursed, abandoned, beaten, denied, and rejected, all by the people who laid palm fronds in his path just 7 days earlier. 7 days ago, they were crying, "Hosanna, glory!" Now it's "Crucify him," and I never even knew the man. Jesus of Nazareth wears bruises from clubs and bleeding cuts from bone and metal-weaved whips, along with his dirty clothes. They've ripped painful patches of his beard. He stumbles through the streets of Jerusalem with his cross disgracefully carried behind him. People line the streets just to spit in his face and curse him. This same man taught and challenged them, made the blind see, the lame walk, fed droves of people from only a handful of food, and relentlessly loved them unlike anyone has ever loved. These ignorant people, they chose Barabbas over him. His disciples, the 12 men, well, now 11. Judas shamefully hung himself in the field, bought with the 30 pieces of silver that sold Jesus. These remaining men saw miracle after miraculous events, heard life-changing teaching, had true life infused into their souls for 3 years. And they hid in a room. In their best friend's darkest moments, they were nowhere to be found. Cowards. Why do these people from old seem so familiar to us? It was Friday, about midday, on Golgotha, called the Place of Skulls. 3 9-inch spikes pierced the hands and feet that bound him to that old rugged cross. A crown of thorns was forced onto his head. The Roman soldiers raised the King of the Jews on top of that hill and prepared to watch him die. For them, it was just another day at work. There he hung, struggling to take each breath, bleeding from head to toe. He was thirsty, so they mocked him even further by offering him vinegar. Jesus' clothes were gambled for out of spite. Mary, his mother, tearfully watched from the sidelines as her firstborn joy suffered at the hands of sinners. "Woman, behold your son," the guard mocked. Suddenly, the skies grew dark. The earth began to tremble. People fled in fear, the disciples still hiding. Then Jesus, breathing one last agonizing deep breath, called, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Then that curtain, that 60-foot temple curtain that has separated man from God's presence for centuries, ripped from top to bottom, as if God himself turned back to earth and tore it himself. And the arrival of the everlasting Father was so magnificent that the earth shook with great glory that rocks split. The air in Jesus' lungs finally escaped as he muttered, "It is finished." And he gave up his spirit. A Roman guard, one who stood his post through the chaos, knew who they had just killed. "Surely this was the Son of God," he remarked. They pierced his flesh with a spear, and water separated from blood just to prove that he was dead. The Lamb of God was really dead. Was this really the one prophesied to deliver the captives? Was he, the one who claimed to be 100% backed up by no less than 12 legions of angels, really dead? That Friday was dark and murderous. Why do we call it so good? It was late. Those left with Jesus sorrowfully took him down and laid him in a borrowed tomb that rests in the side of a mountain. A tremendously large and heavy stone was placed in front, and a guard was set by orders of Pilate and the chief priest. For 3 days, Jesus lay dead. On that third day, Mary Magdalene and a group of others were heading to the borrowed tomb to properly prepare Jesus for burial. Tearfully, reverently, the group approached Jesus' resting place, expecting to quarrel with the guard, but praying otherwise. I wasn't there, but I'm sure that Mary froze as they were approaching the grave. Unexpectedly, lightning struck, the earth quaked, and an angel of the Lord appeared in snow-white clothing. He rolled back that huge stone and sat right on top. And the guard set by Pilate to make sure no one stole Jesus became completely useless. In fact, they were so frightened that they fainted as if they were dead. Brave but trembling, Mary peered inside that reopened grave, and the body of Jesus was not there. "Do not be afraid," the angel said. Wait. So an angel just shot down from heaven, moved a huge stone without breaking a sweat, and scared the Roman guard to death. Their teacher, Lord, healer, provider, and friends died the most gruesome and humiliating physical death a human can experience, and now they can't even properly bury him because he's missing. They were beyond afraid. But the heavenly host continued. "I know that you seek Jesus who was crucified. But why do you seek the living among the dead? Do you not remember his words? See that the grave is empty. Death could not hold him down. The king is not here. He is risen, just as he said."